So there's this little game called Call of Duty. I don't know if you guys heard of it.
It's an underground thing.
It turns out the internet loves it. Loves this game. So the newest one came out, obviously, Advanced Warfare, and David and I both played a little bit of it. We haven't really gotten very far into it. But David had a point, and he said that it plays like every other Call of Duty you've ever played in the world. And he's right, because I got a little bit of time with it, and it feels fundamentally like every other Call of Duty I've ever laid hands on since Modern Warfare. Now, we can't speak to the multiplayer aspect of it, which I heard is much more into the exosuits, which is the big differentiator in this one. So I think that might make
you guys didn't play multiplayer?
No. But I think that might make all the difference in this experience, to really make it feel wholly different. Because as of now, I'm not very impressed. Now, there is something special about a Call of Duty game, though. Nothing else quite feels exactly like Call of Duty.
No.
So it has that going for it, but at the same time, if you don't like Call of Duty, you're not going to like this game.
You know you're playing a Call of Duty game.
Exactly.
I mean, it's not that I don't like Call of Duty, because it's always entertaining.
Yeah.
I just don't play it because it's always the same thing.
You just have better options out.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's more variety now.
Yeah. Like
Right.
people I see people losing their fucking minds over people who like Call of Duty. Like, just the internet just can't get enough of hating on people who like Call of Duty. I don't understand it, man.
It's the popularity thing. The same thing happens with EDM music. You see everybody complaining about the fact that EDC's in Orlando right now, and it's just everybody dissing on the music, and it's the same way that people feel about Call of Duty. It's a popular thing right now, so therefore it's cool to hate on it.
Yeah.
Basically.
We stopped buying them after a while. I mean, Battlefield.
Black Ops 2 was my endpoint.
Yeah, that's because we picked up Battlefield and started playing that because it was just a better option. It was just...
But not to say that Call of Duty was a bad game. It was just Call of Duty. I mean, Battlefield at the time was just better. Battlefield 3 was better.
Mm-hmm.
You
know? It offered a better experience for us because we wanted to have those big scale battles and.
Yeah. I'm gonna say, Titanfall multiplayer was better than Call of Duty. The added mobility, the Titans. I love Titanfall.
No, but I mean, that's the thing. It never has anything going for it as a new advancement of the game or anything like that. It's just always the same Call of Duty.
Right.
This one has the exosuits, but it's still gonna be Call of Duty, but just with low gravity and super melees or whatever.
Yeah.
But what else? I mean, what really are they supposed to do at this point?
That's actually the core of my question. Bringing this up is, Call of Duty's basically been everywhere at this point. It's been in the past. It's been in the future now. It's been in the not so distant future as well. Black Ops 2 was in the future,
right?
Already. Ghosts is in an alternate dimension of the future, and so my question is, I've seen this on many a comment thread about Call of Duty. A lot of people want it to go back to World War II. And I'm going to ask you guys, what do you think about that? If you don't agree with that, where do you think it should go from here? What else can they do?
I'd totally be okay with that.
Yeah.
It going back to World War II on next-gen consoles or the current-gen consoles? Yeah, I'd totally be for that.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing right there. Is not just the fact that going back to World War II, but what they could do now. The kind of options that they have now.
I want it to be a lot darker.
Okay.
Than what it is now, because it's very
Michael Bay.
Yeah, it's very Michael Bay.
Yeah, it's a blockbuster.
I need it to be darker, a lot more serious of a storyline. Not
Band
just...
of Brothers.
Right.
If you're gonna go back to World War II.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because we had a lot of fun playing the campaign of this current one, Advanced Warfare, because it is so outlandish, and ridiculous and B-movie in ways.
But at the same time, it's this is.
It doesn't mean much.
I was gonna say it's more it's still a potential future look it feels like it could be in the future somewhere.
Right. So it needs to have more honor in itself to portray
Right, like just
true events.
just make it, if you're gonna make your setting as realistic as you can, make your story as realistic as you can too.
You know, even the quote unquote controversial missions like no Russian, even those felt, although they were controversial to other people, to gamers, me for instance, it didn't really affect me emotionally because I knew it was a video game. And second, I mean, it was just like comically violent. It wasn't like, I wasn't affected by it that they were like mowing down an airport. I was just like, this is stupidly violent. I can't even take this seriously how stupid this is. And that's what, like, to your point, if you want to, you can be hyper violent because World War II was hyper violent.
Right.
But you have to do it in a way that's respectful of the history and make it realistic.
But that was the original idea of Call of Duty. Like, we're gonna recreate, in a fun way, arcadey way, of actual battles that happened.
I really appreciate that about the original games.
That was awesome. On the first 3 Call of Duties, the first 3 they did that accurately.
Yeah.
And then they went Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just too big, just too much of a monster.
That was a game changer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. And now they've just been trying to recreate that over and over and over again.
Yep.
They've become Madden.
Yeah.
They just,
in a lot of ways.
what can you do?
Pretty much.
Every year, you got to come out with something.
But yeah, I mean, if they went back to those first roots where they actually portrayed real missions on a current gen console with beautiful graphics and actual real down-to-earth story,
I said this about Madden, and I feel the same way about a game like Modern Warfare or Call of Duty. I don't care about a yearly game. If it takes you 4 years to make the game, take that long. Just make it a good game. I don't need to have a war game every year.
Right.
Just, I need a good game every couple of years because there's so many companies out trying to make these different war simulators.
Right. And that's exactly like Halo's doing, and Battlefield's about to be doing.
Oh, with Hardline?
Yeah, with Hardline. Like, they come out every couple of years.
Which was delayed.
Every couple of years with a new game, but it's worth it, because it's an awesome game. Grand Theft Auto took, what, 5 years?
Right.
5 years, yep.
It
was worth it, though.
Right, and in between time, they had, a couple of, different kind of
Max
games.
Payne 3.
Right. Even Call of Duty, GTA, they had games that fell under it, like they had GTA 4, but then they had the expansion packs and the different stories and stuff like that. That's the kind of thing that you can do in between the incubation period of making a new game. You don't have to just completely disappear from the market.
Right, and if your online sings, that's what really keeps that game afloat. So GTA 4 online was actually a lot of fun. A lot of people ended up playing that, and it kept that brand alive. And then once that started to die out a little bit, people started getting more and more hyped for the next one coming out.
Right. Then it hits a fever pitch. Takes a couple years, and then when it finally comes out and it meets the hype, which GTA 5 did.
Yeah.
You saw what happened with GTA 5.
I mean, yeah, just imagine if Call of Duty Activision took that time, that tender loving care that Rockstar took with GTA 5 and just released a new one every couple years instead of recycling the same gameplay every single year.
It's tough, though. Like, especially that audience that's going there mostly for the multiplayer, they don't want you to mess with what they have. That's the problem.
Yeah, there's a huge audience of a huge community of people who, first of all, they just get Call of Duty just for the multiplayer.
Absolutely.
And they demand a new Call of Duty every year.
Right. But not only a new one, but something that doesn't mess up what they loved about the past, which is very hard to do. That's a tall order to task to anybody.
You can't tell them, well, don't mess with what we like about it, but change these things too. It's like
don't copy and paste, but it needs to be what I remember.
You want it one way, but it's the other way.
That was good. That's good. Yeah, no, I completely agree though, and that's the tough spot that they're in, because if they were to go back and make World War II game again, you're not going to have those customization options that you have in these games. There's just no way.
They're gonna give you that.
How?
It's gonna be real crappy. Like,
how would you do it?
Like World at War.
Okay.
Had those crappy just not realistic add-ons to your weapon that didn't exist in the first place.
What I would task a Call of Duty team with, and I'm saying a Call of Duty team in particular, not the entire, because they have like 4 development studios.
Right.
I would task one team to make a game every, let's say, 4 years that would just make a single player campaign that was hard hitting and completely story driven. That's what I'd want from them.
I think maybe they don't even realize how to do that, because I think they may think that they've done that with this one, getting Kevin Spacey,
right,
and the storyline with the private army or the privatization of the military and things like that. I think maybe they think they nailed it. I mean, reviews have been pretty solid.
Yeah, I mean, it's been getting mostly 80s around the board, ish.
IGN gave it a 9.1.
Yeah.
I don't what's the 0.1 for?
I don't know. I hate their scale.
That
it's so
that
stupid.
is the worst part about that. I think it's like a 10-point scale or something.
Yeah.
That is the worst point of it.
What the hell's a 9.1? What is that even? What?
Right.
What's a 9.2?
Right. What's the difference?
It's arbitrary at that point. Anyway, that's besides the point.
Terrible.
It's besides the
Stupid.
point. It's been getting good reviews,
Yeah.
and I'm
But
sure.
the Call of Duty games always get good reviews.
I'm sure it's been selling
Always.
well too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's a good point too. Actually, bring up Ghosts, which has been lauded by people since it came out as being a terrible Call of Duty game, even amongst the ranks of Call of Duties. Got like a 70-something Metacritic score.
Yeah. They always, these big name critics, they always give them. I've never seen a Call of Duty game lower than a 7 ever. As far as I've been reading game reviews, I've never seen any of them get lower than a 7. They just,
That's what bothers me though. It's just like you play the same game, the same kind of game,
Right.
over and over and over, and it's just like the story's different. Cool, the graphics are better. Cool, but where's the innovation?
Mm-hmm.
You're just making the same game over and over. It's like an expansion pack, another expansion pack that you're paying $60 for every year.
Yeah. Well, again, you get stuck in a rut as a developer by not being able to change as much as you may like to because of the audience. It's a vicious cycle within itself because the audience craves innovation and new stuff, but then they also want something that's comfortable and the same thing they've had in the past.
Right.
There's no winning in that, That's what I'm saying. They need to.
They did that. They changed it at Call of Duty 4.
Yeah, it was
They
the last
changed.
time.
They changed everything that they were comfortable with.
Right.
At that point.
Yeah.
But I mean, they've tried like little subtle things like the multiplayer with like I know Modern Warfare 3. They revamped the class system. Well, not the class system per se, but perks and everything.
Right.
They revamped how they did that, and people weren't
Picking
feeling
your
it.
slots and all that.
And then you could like go up to like 10 slots, and it was
That's
too
back.
much.
That's
it
what
was
it
too
is.
much.
No, it's back. That's what's in. Advanced
Oh, that's what you
Yeah.
do now. I hated it. I thought you said that's whack, which it was.
That's
Hip hop turns.
That's in Advanced Warfare.
Yeah, that's trash. That's trash.
Stupid don't like that.
Yeah, people don't like that.
Yeah.
And you would think that competition would breed creativity, but people buy Call of Duty games regardless.
Yeah.
So they don't have any competition. They have other developers making other war games, but they don't have competition.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why, why take a risk? All they really do is just sit in their buildings and just go, I mean, they just come up with new ideas. Why try to take a risk? Why jump out on a leap of faith when you have a formula and just copy and paste new shit onto this thing and push it out to people?
It's just like Call of Duty is that evil corporation that just machine presses
Conglomerate.
games out over and over and over. Like this one's just the same game skinned differently.
Yeah.
Over and over, just in a manufacturer.
Well, the thing that gives me hope is games like Titanfall, that are so similar to the Call of Duty format that, will breed some sort of innovation from Call of Duty, hopefully.
Well, we can only hold our breath because it's only the first Titanfall.
That's what I'm saying. If
just rather play
Titanfall,
Titanfall.
if Titanfall 2 comes out and it's like a smash hit across all platforms, Call of Duty has some worrying to do.
Yeah.
Because Titanfall 1 was supposed to be that. It was supposed to be the thing that, made the Call of Duty fans happy, where Call of Duty was not pleasing them anymore. It's the new lover in their life.
I mean,
which didn't happen because of the exclusivity of Xbox One.
Right.
And, it fell flat over time, I'd say, on multiplayer. People just fell out of love with it.
And it's because there was no foundation for it. By not giving it a story or campaign,
that was its downfall. One of the downfalls.
A huge crippling point, because you don't engage in a Call of Duty game without playing the story.
A lot of people do, though.
There are some people, but I mean, it's part of it.
For average Joe gamer,
if you want the whole package,
right,
you play the story.
They expect that in the game.
And with Call of Duty also, it's grounded in something that you can relate to, like especially Modern Warfare. It's Modern Warfare, so you can ground it in, this is what people are actually doing in the jungle. So that's how you can kind of relate to it. But with Titanfall, since you didn't have a compelling story to give it a foundation, you can't ground it in anything else except your imagination, and sometimes that's not enough.
Yeah, I'm mad that it didn't have a story, because that would have been great. To understand why this war is going on in Titanfall, but you don't get that. You get horrible cutscenes while you're not paying attention.
In-game cutscenes.
Wait, are we not talking about Destiny right now?
Yeah.
I feel like we're talking about Destiny right now.
We could be talking about Destiny.
I love Destiny still.
I love Destiny still. It's my baby.